93K BTC, but it's all about these alts again. We had a small pullback yesterday. We hit a ton of these areas. Some of them we front run. So guys, we got so much happening here on the altcoin front. Is it time to send these things to the next level, guys? Let's get into this stuff. Yeah, things are bullish with the bull hat. Let's go. Guys, and remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, and hit the subscribe. Mr. 𝗲𝗱𝗻𝘀 is in the house. Maybe he's got a change of sentiment here. So, 𝗲𝗱𝗻𝘀?
Definitely more bullish than bearish at this point.
More bullish than bearish. Okay, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Slowly, we are getting there. I tell you what's bullish here. This fucking Trump coin, guys. I mean, yeah. Whew. I hope none of you got cut up in this thing. I hope you guys made tons of money if you did jump into that. And I sincerely hope no one got rinsed. What did you get rinsed?
No, I made a bunch of money on this because this happened yesterday live during the show. And after we were done back in Chart Hackers, a whole bunch of people jumped on it as because they were watching the show and made a ton of money off it too. So congratulations to everyone that jumped in that risky ass shit. It paid off.
Guys, yeah, just remember, if you like, you could see yesterday on the show, guys, I wasn't keen on trying to trade this Trump thing. It's just, I've burnt my fingers in the past trying to chase green candles like that, and fuck, it's not worth it for me. So if you did take the chance and you made some money, congrats, guys. Obviously, there's going to be other opportunities and things like that, but I like to keep it slightly simpler for me. Okay, but Trump 32% up here at the moment. Look at this biggest shitcoin in history. They had to change the name to try and disguise it. Polygon, Matic. Who remembers Matic, the biggest shitcoin from 2021? That thing's pumping, and you're in luck because I'm looking at that today. ONDO just absolutely exploded. Guys, who got some of these entries yesterday? Now, I know I covered a lot of pullback entries. Some of them, to be fair, front ran the zone. Some of them, we only got small little moves to the downside. And some of them absolutely rinsed me, like 𝗬𝗰 again, fucking straight through my stop loss. Okay, so market's clearly altcoin favored at the moment, super bullish now. But, you know, this gives us, and we were talking offline, very important note here. This is the bull market that you guys wanted. This is the one that you guys were saying, when the market's more bullish, I'm going to go and I'm going to trade. Okay, well, welcome to a bull market trading situation where you are chasing if you didn't get the big entries when we are getting those pullbacks originally. Now, you're going to see a lot of my best trades are the ones where we got the good entries. Now I'm sitting back. I added to ONDO today, exploded. I added to Link, exploded. I added to PEPE, exploded. I added to NIA, exploded. Now that is because we did all the work and we got the entries on the downside. Now we quite relaxed as things go higher up. So there's a key lesson here, guys. This is bull market trading. Things are popping off, but you can also get rinsed pretty easily in the market. Okay, lecture over. Let's get it. Did that make sense to you, sir? Did that make sense? You comfortable with that? You got the bull market. You got the bull market you wanted. Let's go. Okay, let's get into BTC. And just talking BTC on the daily, I'm going to look at the 2 hour now in a sec, but this is my basic plan at the moment. So this was our Bitcoin on the daily chart. We had our big 95K zone, and you can see BTC really sweating bullets here at the top, 95K, but it's all about the alts now. The alts keep on sending at the moment. So this is the big level. If there is a pop, guys, in the next 24 hours before I see you again, this is your next zone. You're probably going to get this type of flavor out of Bitcoin. Okay, so you'll probably get the breaks on around about 98, 99K, something like that. And that is going to be your next area. You're going to be a little bit more cautious with some of those alts. You're probably going to find if it does pop in that zone, you're going to be with altcoins at resistance. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at now on BTC. This is still a super bullish scenario for me. If we form some kind of flag here on the daily, this makes a lot of sense to me. If we could just get a flag going here, that's actually probably quite healthy, I would say, for the market. If we get some kind of flag on BTC and we actually come here and tap and retest this 200-day MA. If that's going to happen, it's difficult to say now in these current conditions, and we're waiting for the market to digest some more news. Okay, so big support on the daily for me on BTC is 88K. That is the big one. Now, let's get into the small stuff, and let's start understanding a couple of levels lower down and just see where we are on the lower time frame. So remember the power of these hot zones, especially to the upside as well. Look at that. We had a bearish order block. We had daily levels. We knew this was going to be a resistance or rejection zone for us, and it is playing its part at the moment. Now, when things are super bullish, the most degen thing you can do and still remain safe is to play 236 fibs. And you can see Bitcoin hasn't even tapped that 236 fib yet. And that is the 236 fib from the extreme lows from that last sell-off that we had early April. Okay, so that 236 is still untapped. I'm very surprised we haven't come back and tapped that thing. But in terms of what could happen here with BTC, if we do get a little dip in the market, or we do get some kind of sell-off here, this is really what you're going to watch on a lower time frame. You're going to look for something like this down into this 89, 90K region. That's your super bullish 236 fib. And that is still pretty bullish for me. That's pretty reasonable. Okay. And then in terms of upsides, guys, you're going to have to play the break. If you want to trade Bitcoin, you got to trade the breakout. And that zone I showed you on the daily chart, that is sitting up here. This is a nice band for us to the upside. And what we want to do here is pop through that guy. And all we want to do is catch that retest. Okay. That's the safest way to do it. You want to grab that little retest. It might be a very low time frame retest. It might be a 15-minute. So if Bitcoin pops through this 95K region and it starts sticking its head through, you might want to be nibbling around. If you're a momentum trader, you're nibbling around. The minute it pops and then comes back, that is going to be the real trade for you. And you're going to look for that move into that 9900K. Okay, so play it safe here. You can see we are under resistance. The odds for me are still stacking in terms of some kind of flag, but you can see our oscillator has spent the whole day. And since I reported this to chart hackers this morning, we've spent the whole day trying to get some kind of reversal here on the 2 hour. And we know the 2 hour can give us quite brutal moves to the upside. Look at that guy. Okay, the last time we had a 2 hour reset, we had quite a big move on BTC. So we're getting close to reversal stages here. And look, in these conditions, I mean, it's super exciting because we don't experience this that much, and we haven't experienced these types of moves that much in the last, say, 12 months. It's been quite hectic. I mean, the Trump pump was the last big one that we had. And remember, we need to learn how to shift gears here, and things are getting super bullish, and we got to just start playing that momentum. We can't get stuck in a simple sort of short-term mindset here, and especially, guys, if you're looking at some of your alts that are flying and that are cooking and busy sending at the moment, are you kicking yourself for not trying to hold on to one or two of those? Are you saying to yourself afterwards, wow, I actually could have added more to that position? And you're having those types of discussions with yourself. So these types of bullish conditions are where you can really use those skills that I talk about and that we've been covering on the show for the last year or so, where we add to positions and we keep a few open. So when we pump into resistance zones, we're keeping one or two alts open that we add to just in case they explode. And just in case they explode, like things like this ONDO. Look at this thing. This thing basically came out of nowhere. So you guys know that I was trading ONDO for the last couple of days. And I said to you yesterday, okay, we're looking for the pullback on ONDO. We're going to be adding. And this ONDO dipped down. Look at my size now. It's now $52,000 in size. Super patient. Let the play out, okay? So let it play out. Let it drift down. And then bang, this ONDO explodes. And then it becomes the money printer, okay? And you can see near it's also giving us a little bit of action here at the moment. So super exciting conditions. And we got to just focus on obviously reading the room here and knowing when we need to change gears. Now, this is very important for us. Here's a trading strategy. Okay, let's see. Whoa. There's your strategy. Okay, now the bull market's back. Okay, so the bull market's back now. We've got our strategy. Let's do it. Let's put it with real money now. Let's go. Real money. Locked and loaded. 20x. Oof. Right. So basically what I'm saying here is we can't get stuck in a choppy bear market strategy when things are absolutely ripping now. And you'll see, you guys saw, I opened a couple of head shorts and got smashed on that 𝗬𝗰. I mean, it absolutely ended me. Fortunately, some of them obviously have played out for us. But remember, we just need to be adaptable and do what the market is going to give us. Now, the big news out yesterday, or is it actually big news? Because Trump made an announcement that they were getting quite far with China in terms of the tariffs. And then the Chinese came out and they basically said, this is bullshit. This is false news. And he's talking absolutely rubbish. And for those who understand a little bit of
这些都是假消息。据我了解，中美双方并没有就关税问题进行磋商或谈判，更谈不上达成协议。这场关税战是由美。
So
a proper one.
So that's basically what he was saying. Okay, so just to be clear,
a proper one.
so they weren't happy with Donald talking fibs, basically. Now, this account, 𝗂𝗍𝗍𝗂𝗃, I'm not sure what this guy's name is. What is the timetable for the reductions in tariffs against China? He says, now this Levin comes out. He says, let me be clear. There will be no unilateral reductions in tariff against China. So, James, just give us the TLDR here. What the fuck is going on?
Well, that nobody seems to know, and it changes every day. That's been our big problem for months now, right? Because Trump came out and said, "Oh, we're getting far with these deals, moving ahead. We're going to cut it down, this, that." And then yesterday they came out and said, "No, there's no unilateral cutting, nothing." And now the Chinese say, "We haven't even talked. We've not received a call. There's been no communication at all." So it's like, what the fuck is happening? No one knows. But the good thing is the market didn't fall over today on China's news. So I'm hoping that maybe the market's going to start evening out and not reacting like a 2-year-old having a temper tantrum every time the word tariff is mentioned.
It feels like we're getting desensitized, to any type of news. The market feels like it's started to price in all the drama and the bullshit, and it's actually saying to itself, fuck it, these guys are going to stop playing like children and they are going to start sorting things out. But I found this one great, James. Look at this. Daily S&P returns depending on which a Trump administration official is speaking. Okay, the cent. Okay, he's a winner. When that guy opens his mouth, you go long. Okay, you go long when he's talking.
He's the adult in the room. It's this Nutlick and Navarro that are the two that tank everything and just nonsense.
So based on history, guys, here's a free trade guide for you. Here's an indicator. When these guys are coming online to talk, there's a good chance the market's going to roll over. Okay, so play the game. Okay, pay attention. Narcissists are emotional children. Says in Trump thinks ordering takeout is talking to the Chinese. Bro, come on. Okay, so here things are getting spicy. China unveils plan to promote the use of the yuan and its own payment system in international trade. Now, imagine that. Okay, now we're saying move over from the dollar here. Let's get a few other things going. So it sounds like China needs some freedom. But basically, this is what's going down there. And then Link is saying there is a war that no one is talking about. And this is apparently how much BTC that China owns at the moment, 190,000. Okay, BTC versus the US at 198. So things are definitely getting spicy there. And look, there is a bit of a fight to accumulate some BTC. And Jason's going for win entry here. Okay, guys, let's get into a couple of things. And look, I might have a very high-risk short play for you guys on Netflix. Okay, we're going to talk about this thing, but you got to be a little bit mentally disturbed if you want to try this one. But let's start with the S&P on the weekly at the moment. And you can see we've got a big zone. So we've got a nice pumper on the S&P, and this is my short zone, guys. 5,650. This is the area for me. It doesn't mean you have to short, but this is the area for me where we might get a rejection on the S&P, and that might translate into crypto as well, and there could be some pain there. So what I just want you to do, you don't have to short this with me, is just pay attention in the zone, okay? And that could be a rejection area for the markets, and there could be some bearish news and things like that going on when it does hit that 5,650. So looking out for that type of area, and I expect this is going to happen in the next couple of days. I think we could maybe hit that zone. Okay, so President Trump says 25% tariffs on Canada could go up. So that drama also exhausting. Market doesn't seem to care about that at the moment, and his approval rating is going down for anybody who cares. They're not happy with his current performance. James is not happy with that either. And Desert Fox wants to short Cetus. Now remember, guys, Cetus is a DEX on Sui, and if Sui's doing well, Cetus will pump. But the minute Sui rolls over, well, you know, then things could get a little bit spicy. Now we know about gold. We know China's gold reserves are rising. These guys are buying this stuff up really quickly. Oh wait, there's Netflix. Hold on, we can talk about that. Okay, and here's our gold situation. So I'm still sitting short gold, and thanks to Panda and Chaos, not Panda, it's thanks to Jay and Chaos in hackers, okay, I'm long gold and I'm short gold, okay? I mean, now how do you do that? Well, you can do that on LBank with me. You can be long and short at the same time. So I'm short gold from 3,444. You can see that trade is green. And then I am long gold from 3,315, double the size. And that was a play just to see if we're going to ride that thing up and get a bigger short opportunity when gold does pump. Okay, so there's the game. That's how you can play the cross hedge trading strategy that I like to do, and I'm doing this one on LBank at the moment. You can see XRP from yesterday put me under tons of pressure. We're talking about that one now. There is a little bit of news, but I have subsequently added to that XRP, and we've got a bigger size now on trend, and we're going to cover that one for you guys in detail. Okay. Let's go into, okay, so gold we know about. So I'm remaining at the moment. I believe gold is still going to continue lower. And basically what I'm looking at here is some kind of push up. If they do push up, they're going to come and take out some of that wick, I would expect. And then we potentially get a deeper move to the downside. Okay, so that is kind of what I'm doing. Zen said it's the golden schlong strategy. Well, I mean, you know what? The boys are trading gold in there. Jay is trading gold. Chaos is trading gold. And I'm feeling a little bit jealous. I wanted some of the action. So I'm getting stuck in with them. And LBank has given me more bonuses than I've ever deposited, says JR. Well, he's not fucking wrong, okay? So LBank gives you so many bonuses from trading volume, just from trading in there. And I mean, they've actually sent me probably $2,500 in my spot account just from trading on LBank. So that is quite a bonus there with those things. Okay, let's talk altcoins, guys. Let's get serious here. And remember, we use this RSI 4-hour heat map for reversals on oh wait, James, I still got to do Netflix, guys. Netflix is coming. Okay, let's finish this quickly. So 4-hour RSI heat map on altcoins. Remember, we used this when I said to you guys, we're feeling way too bearish down here. These altcoins are completely oversold. I'm looking for longs. Remember that time? When was that? 3 weeks ago. And that's how long these things take to reset. And here we are now. All these alts have pumped to the top. And now this is the area where we say, guys, okay, let's understand where we are. Maybe there's one more push in the market, maybe two. But in terms of getting greedy, in terms of those types of things, it's nearly time to start just saying, hang on, let's slow it down just a little bit. Remember how everybody was too bearish down here to buy. And I was saying to you guys, I'm buying here in these areas. We are now at the other side. Okay, now we're at the zone where we say, guys, okay, let's just be aware, be self-aware. How are you feeling? Are you making too much money? Are you feeling euphoric? Okay, I want you guys to feel, take note of how you're feeling internally. Okay, and maybe it's time to cut a couple of upside positions there. Yes, sir.
If you're showing the P&L to your buddies and your wife, cut the trade. Period.
Correct. Okay, correct. It's even worse for me, guys, because I'm like flashing you the shit literally every day. Okay, it's worse. Okay, it's like, it's actually bad. We're gonna, you know what? We're gonna close. We're gonna pick one to close live. Okay, we're gonna close one live, and we're gonna use that. We're gonna use that. Okay, guys, there's a slightly fucking high D. Oh God, no, this. Okay. Here's Netflix. Okay, I was toying with the idea of a Netflix short. Now, the reason being is this thing is at all-time highs, and as you can see, it's breaking all-time highs. So there's obviously a lot of bullish things going on with Netflix. They reported good earnings and things like that. Yes, sir.
That's what I was wondering. What the hell happened with Netflix? Can't say I keep up with this. It was just earnings that did this?
Good results, and the guys are getting bullish on TV. I mean, I don't know. They're obviously doing well. But look, when I saw this chart today, I didn't pay too much attention to the oscillators. I just saw this thing and I said, what happens to these guys when they pump into the horizontals? What happens here? And time again, you get a rejection. So look, I'd like to try and short this. For me, it might happen late at close tonight. So if the market keeps pumping here, I want to see what happens at close here on Netflix. If it starts rejecting a little bit, then I'm going to try and short this thing. And I'm going to short this thing on BTCC. Okay, so I'm waiting for an opportunity here on Netflix. I'm waiting for the close. Okay, let's get close to the market close. If it starts rejecting later, I might have a go. Okay, because that means they could open a little bit lower tomorrow. Remember, this is Degen shit. Okay, it's proper high risk stuff. If you want to try that, and yeah, it's just something that looks interesting to me. Could be a little reversal there. Okay, let's go. Altcoins, guys, let's get you sorted with your things now. Okay, ETH. I've got you a Degen entry on ETH, guys, if you want one. And Netflix will begin to show live sports. Well, that's interesting. And everybody who's holding ETH right now as well they're also quite proud of themselves.
I got a motherfucking boner.
Okay, never mind. Let's go straight into this. So, with regards to ETH, I just want to point out a couple of things here for you guys. And the reason being, I normally show you the 3-day chart, the 5-day chart on ETH, but I thought this is worth a Degen insight into this thing because I think it's earned it after the pump. And I think it's time to look at ETH again and just really start focusing on some key levels. So, what I did highlight for you guys yesterday was the strength of that 50-day moving average and the rejection. And now I've just built a Degen chart for you, and it's clear as day why this is a super dangerous zone. Look at that. I've got a bearish order block. I've got a 382. I've got a VWAP in that zone. We've got the horizontal. So we know this is king size resistance for ETH. What does this mean for me? Well, what it tells me is if ETH starts breaking through that 50-day moving average, we can use that 50-day MA support with confidence. In fact, that's basically what I'm going to try and do. So if we blow through that zone, I'm going to wake up for the next pullback onto that area, and we're going to look for a nice daddy-sized long on ETH. Okay, so that is going to be the game plan there. We have seen multiple altcoins blow through the 50-day moving average and then absolutely rocket once they've passed that. And one of the ones I've been watching for the last couple of days is NEAR. That's finally blown the 50-day MA. And you can see that thing is moving. Look what 𝗬𝗰 did. Look what a couple of other tokens did through that 50. So I'm looking for a big mover here on ETH. And there's a couple of ways you can now choose to play this if you want to. Number one, you can see in spite of some of these things blowing up in the market, ETH is still holding back a little bit. So for me, you still have a potential that ETH is going to drop into these types of levels. And these are going to be your nice weakness plays when everybody's feeling bearish and everybody's feeling super uncomfortable. 1650, okay, is going to be a beautiful starter long position. If you want to grow a massive size position, this is how you can do it, okay? So you're going to get your first buyers in when everybody is feeling uncomfortable. 1650, that would be ideal if we drop into that zone. That makes a lot of sense to me. And then we're going to try and grind this thing higher up, okay? That is option one. Now, option two is if this market goes super bullish now, we have to be patient, okay? For me, for the trade I want to see, I want to buy it here, or I want this thing to blow through, reject somewhere there, come back, okay? And then we're going to start looking at some big longs on ETH over there around about this 50-day moving average. That is going to be a big one for us that we're going to play and just be a little bit patient. So the big levels here, 1,830. We want to blow through that zone. If we do, then we've got something on there for ETH. Okay, now remember, this chart will go into Chart Hackers directly after the show. And do you guys hate me talking about ETH, or must I continue? Let me know in the chats if you want to go, if you want to hear some more ETH. Okay. Okay, Kimmy says, listen to the man. Okay, who else is in the chats here? Who else is hanging out here today? And 𝗏𝘆𝗀 is looking for some NEAR. Guys, I've got a NEAR update coming for you guys. Let's see what else we got. Suraj says, are we still short PEPE? Guys, I've closed that PEPE short earlier. I've got the chart ready for you. I'm going to show you that one as well. He's got WIF. I've got WIF for you guys. Look, I've got a lot of these tokens that we did cover in the last couple of days. Okay, I see it hasn't been too much of an explosion so far. Here we go. And Matt says he's here for the V-neck. Matt, sorry to disappoint you, bro. I should have worn the V-neck. Okay, let's talk Sol. We're not out of the woods yet in terms of Solana and our entry. This was the zone I gave you yesterday that made sense to me, 142. I also spoke briefly yesterday about a 236 fib. Look at that 236. It's giving us a reaction. As you can see, it has reacted on the area. That's why we use it in super like emergency conditions, like when the market's super bullish or super bearish, we can play with the 236 fib. So you can see Sol has reacted 146, 147. That is a support you can use for now. Then lower down, this is my preferred area, and this is my ultimate game plan for Sol. 142. If we bounce at this 142, I think we're on for quite a big move. 180 seems to be a nice target. If we start losing, guys, then I think we're on for the bear train and we're going to look for a bounce. We'll get a nice bounce, but then I think after that we are bearish on Sol. Okay, then we're going to be looking for a little bit lower there on Sol. We're going to lose those levels. So make money, travel, enjoy says Sol to 180. I agree. I want to see it hold 142. That would be ideal for me, and just get everybody a little bit bearish on support there, and then give us a nice little pop. Okay, so that's the game plan on Sol. No fresh trades for me yet until we get a little bit lower down. Okay, let's go 𝗬𝗰. This is obviously the big dog, and I dropped a couple of things in Chart Hackers earlier today, and one of them was an analysis on 𝗬𝗰. I wanted you guys to get the full picture because I got stopped out on 𝗬𝗰 yesterday. That thing was so strong. I actually got stopped out today. It was so strong and choppy in that upside, and it's now eventually squeezed. Now we're going to check the chart and see if it's ultimately now reversed, but we're going to see how it goes. So this is what I did in Hackers today. I dropped a weekly 𝗬𝗰, I dropped the 4 hour, and I dropped the 15, and I said I'm looking for a squeeze through this 200-day moving average, and I wasn't looking to short it again. Okay, I didn't want to take another stop on 𝗬𝗰 by trying to be too brave here. Okay, so that was the detailed assessment I gave on 𝗬𝗰, and you can see now 𝗬𝗰 is pushing through the 200-day moving average, and what you typically want to see now on this chart is a close above that 200-day MA, and then fuck guys, I think that's pretty bullish. Okay, then I think we're looking at some big numbers here on 𝗬𝗰. So anybody who's still got a guard mode entry on 𝗬𝗰 here, if you blow this 200-day, things could get super spicy. Okay, and this is what I was talking about in my post earlier. We were sitting just under this region over here, and now we've got the squeeze. Okay, so this is a very important move now for us on 𝗬𝗰, and where can this thing go now in the interim before we can load up our next potential trade or something along these lines? Because look what they've given us. They gave us some kind of consolidation. This is what you want to look for, and then a pop through that area. And we want to know now, because this is squeezed, if you're buying 𝗬𝗰 now, your risk as a leverage trader, if you are buying this here, your risk reasonably is 8%. Okay, and Diaz, bro, yeah, watch my show every day. Okay, very important, Diaz. Watch the show every day. The best show is when you're going to get red. Okay, when the market's falling over, that's my level of expertise for you guys. That's where I'm going to lock you guys in. And yesterday I gave you guys tons of zones. Diaz, I hope you saw a couple of those areas. We did hit a few, we did miss a few, but step one, watch the show. Step two, join Chart Hackers. There's trades coming in for you all day long from everybody, and you won't be sidelined with that type of team in there. Okay, I've got some proper fucking animals in there. Okay, so that's your way to do it. Okay, guys, 𝗬𝗰. If you take a trade now on 𝗬𝗰, on leverage, you have an 8% risk. Okay, that is 8% risk for you on your leverage account. You decide if that works for you in terms of risk. Okay, for me personally, that's now too deep to take another 𝗬𝗰 long. So what I suggest happens here is, just like we've seen before, you want to identify your zones where 𝗬𝗰 can consolidate a little bit. And for me, that is this region up there. So what you're going to look for is, okay, pump into this zone, okay, something along those lines, and then you may or may not get that second pop out of 𝗬𝗰, and that's what you're going to look for, that explosive move. Now that flag is either going to deteriorate into some kind of bearish situation, and I'm going to help you with that as well. Remember, if you watch the show, I'm going to give you all the things they're going to show us. Look, we're going to look for divergence and all these things on the oscillator, and this flag could also just result in a little sell-off and then a bigger move lower down. Okay, so that is also possible on the table there for 𝗬𝗰. Okay, so right now, sit back, wait, let it react again, let it consolidate, then we're going to get you an entry on 𝗬𝗰. Obviously, Chart Hackers, guys, you'll get information from me, and I'll share what I'm seeing there on those types of things. Okay, something that I have taken a fresh trade on, guys, if you want to join me on this thing, is AAVE. Okay, now this one also undercover, and I suspect AAVE could be, a little bit choppy still, but what I love about what I'm seeing at the moment is it's just retested the 50-day moving average, and it's bounced really hard. Okay, so this is super interesting to me for AAVE. You can see that 50-day MA has been very important to us, to all these altcoins. You've heard me talking about this for a couple of weeks now, and I think AAVE is potentially a mover here. So in terms of my plan, I've started a low leverage long trade on CoinX at the moment. I've started very small here, guys. Okay, you can see this is one of the smallest positions you're going to see on my screen, and we've got it on 8x at the moment. So I want to let this thing just settle a little bit. I want to see how this thing goes. If it starts pumping, what I'm going to do is my normal game here, where I'm going to increase the leverage, pull out the margin, and buy more of the token, and see if I can really bump up these numbers on this AAVE and get this trade to maybe $15,000 in size, but using the same amount of margin that I started with. Okay, we could potentially go more. It all depends on if AAVE is going to run or not. So if it's going to fall over, obviously that's another discussion, because then I'm going to look for buys lower down. I'm going to show you on the chart where, if it starts running, I'm going to start growing this position, and I'm going to show you guys how I do it step by step. Okay, so step one, locked in. Let's see if we can get a move. If AAVE starts pumping, we're going to start playing some games with it this week, and we're going to start buying more of this token. Okay, so here's the game plan here in terms of support levels you can watch. First one, okay, is going to be the lows from today. So that is 160, call it 160, 158, guys, 158 on the button. Okay, that's your low. That's your Degen support number one. And then your next one is going to be 148. Okay, Degen support number two is 148. Okay, that's less Degen. That's very conservative. That gives you about a 10% stop. So that's going to be like a spot trade, or somebody who wants to build a position on AAVE with a bias that the market is going to remain bullish. Okay, so I just like the fact that AAVE has blown the 50-day MA. And I'm looking for the 200-day moving average as a target, potentially higher. Okay, so I'm looking for 30 to about a 40% move here on AAVE, and that should give us enough time to build this position. So as we start moving higher, we'll get a bit of chop, but we're going to be able to add as this thing goes, and hopefully finish somewhere around there on AAVE. Okay, so that is going to be my game plan here. And Alex, bro, you got to be on time, bro. It's very important that you report for duty on time. What if there is an urgent trade that I'm taking and you late, bro, and then you miss it? Okay, so you got to be on time. Okay, guys, that's the plan for AAVE. I'm trading this on CoinEx. Remember, everything I talk about here, oh, look at that, there I am. Everything I talk about here is under the show description for you. So all you do is click on more, and then you go under the show description. You can click on Albank if you want to trade with me and get all those bonuses. You can click on CoinEx, same story. They're also offering tons of bonuses. Everything is here for you guys. Okay, it's all there, including my accelerator course. And don't forget, if you guys want boosted alpha, okay, if you want literally free alpha sent to your email inbox. Do you guys know what email is? Do you still use email? Well, you can get it here. Okay, the daily candle coming in hot for you. My day is Thursday, and what I'm doing is I'm getting the team out of Chart Hackers. They're each posting a trade setup for you guys. I'm posting a trade setup in alpha for you on Thursdays, and then you're going to get exposure to a lot of the other banter traders as well, Monday to Friday. Okay, so it's free in your inbox. All you need to do is go and sign up to the daily candle. The information is there for you under the show description. And who's asking me what I want for dinner here? What's for dinner? Teddy. Whoa, I don't know. What do you mean what's for dinner? Can you see a kitchen behind you? What's going on here? Okay, let's get into some stuff. Let's get into some more stuff. Let's talk Matic. Okay, so can you believe this, guys? Okay, Polygon Labs has partnered with 𝗙𝗆ce to tokenize electric delivery motorcycles in Dubai. Is combining blockchain and real-world assets with plans to expand fractional ownership of green EVs into India's growing market. James, is this bullish? I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's like whatever. Okay, but anyway, the market seemed to like it.
It's all I could find. I'm going, what the hell is with Polygon ripping? And that was the only news I could see. I don't know. I guess it's bullish.
Guys, it is bullish, I suppose. Okay, so look again, another example for everybody here. What happens when these things blow through the 50-day MA? Why am I so interested in ETH? Okay, 50-day MA. Look at that. There it is. Party time when we break through that area. Okay, so things happen above the 50. Okay, dark things happen below the 50. Very good things happen above the 50. So in terms of Polygon, guys, I've got my short goggles on. I would love, to try this here. 27,275. Okay, if anyone wants to be a Degen with me, that is where I think I'm going to have a crack at this guy. So when we need one more pump, okay, so into that 100-day MA, you remember how Render rejected off the 100, Tower rejected off the 100. We're looking for that, okay? I think by the time it hits the 100-day MA, the market will realize what a shitcoin old Matic is, and then they might want to sell that. So there's an opportunity there, in my opinion, for a little Degen play. Alternatively, they might just chase you up to that 3-1 zone. Okay, so that is going to be your next reasonable area for possible short. So could be fun. Okay, I'll drop this for you in Chart Hackers. Could be a fun short. Just wait for a 275, 27, 275, that type of area. Could be a nice one there for you guys. Okay, so AAVE, you've got doing that on CoinX. Let's talk about a couple of key things from yesterday. Okay, guys, let me know in the chats. Do I close ADA 3,700 up? Do I close Link 24K? Oof, I don't want to close that. Do I close Tao 950 or do I close ONDO? And no, I'm not closing near. I want near to go to the moon. Okay, let me know. What am I closing here, James? Watch those chats there for me. What do I need to close? Okay, we're printing money and we must take profits. Okay, it's the rule. Okay, it's the rule. Okay, let's go Link. So Link, what did we do? We dropped into Dr. Junior. Here's a zone. Okay, I gave you guys these zones yesterday. Okay, make sure you're watching the show. Okay, if you're feeling sidelined, we've got to play these areas. Now, this morning I updated the link chart in Hackers and I said, look here, possible Degen bounce zone in the zone coming up. Okay, fortunately for whoever was long there, it bounced. Okay, and that was an ad zone for me on Link. Remember, I supply you with these charts. Okay, remember, I give you these charts every day. I do the work all day long. I watch it all day for you, all day the day before. Okay, I build these areas for you. Sometimes they take time to play out. So if you'll watch me on the show, sometimes you don't have an immediate trade, but it might happen, 12 hours later. It might happen a day later, and you've got to be ready to react. So what I want you guys to do is when I give you these charts, maybe just select 3 or 4 of your favorite ones, because every day I go through so many. Select 3 or 4 of your favorite ones, go to your trading view and mark it out on your chart, mark the levels. You can see what James does. He still does it. He still literally hand writes the levels down on a piece of paper so that he can react to it later on. Okay, so I mean that's a pretty archaic way of doing things, but
I'm old. What can you do?
But that's what he does. Okay, so take notes, pick your favorites. Don't pick all of them. It's impossible to trade all of these things. So pick your favorites and then play with those zones. And if you've been watching me for long enough, guys, okay, I can confidently tell you these fucking hot zones are hot zones, okay? And that's why you guys are still watching me after all these years, because we get reactions in these areas, okay? And that is why they are important, because as a trader, you want to react on a place that is going to give you a reaction. That allows you to make rational decisions in those zones, and that also gives you longs and short opportunities. Okay. Link, guys, main support now, 14.3 is your main support for Link. Where do we go on Link if we think this move is going to continue a little bit higher? Well, we need to take out the highs. So 15.2 is going to be our next fight for Link. What is the next game plan here? Pop through there. We're going to take out 16, and then we're going to look for some kind of pullback there, and then there's going to be another move on Link. Remember, all we want to see on these altcoins is a gentle move up. We don't have to get that aggressive like on ONDO. Okay, you can see we've got a beautiful rising trend. All we want to see on these alts is just continuation, just higher lows. Look at that, higher low, okay, higher low. Now we must go up, okay? Then we want that higher low, and we want to go up again. Now, according to our RSI heat map, we might only have 1 or 2 more opportunities. Okay, remember, we might only have 1 or 2 more bounces here before there's a horrible reversal, and we must try and take advantage of that as much as possible. So that's why, guys, again, watch the show. Make sure you're watching these pullback zones. So that is what we need to see now on Link is 16 and then some kind of rejection if you are long Link now. Okay, so let's say you've missed the whole move. You didn't get the entry that I gave you guys yesterday on these levels, and now things are pumping. If you are long Link right now, you are taking major risk. Okay, your risk is 5%. If you're comfortable with 5% risk on your margin account, and you believe the risk reward is fine here for a possible 7% move, so that's 1 to 1. Okay, that's you got to do that maths for yourself. For me, that's why I focus so much on these hot zones and these areas, because I know they limit my risk. When I drop into that zone, I know I'm only dealing with a 2% risk, okay, in that area. If I'm buying it here, I got a 5% risk. So I don't like that, okay, because I don't want to get rinsed on a 5% stop loss. So your option now is, what you can do is you can wait for Link to pop the highs. If it pops the highs, okay, Then if it starts sticking its head out, you can nibble a little bit at Link. Then you're going to look for that pullback dip there. So what you're going to see here, if Link gets aggressive now, you can nibble at this area, nibble slowly. Then it will probably pop. And then the real trade, guys, again, I remind you, the real trade is when they come back and they test that support again, and you're looking at about 15 as your support level there, and that's your most degen support level that I can give you. Okay, so 15 and then 14.3 over there, guys. Okay, that is going to be the big one. And remember, at some point in the market, you see these 50 days that we've left, you're not going to believe it, but at some point in the market, we're coming back to those 50-day MAs. So all those alts that you see pumping 20, 30% away from the 50-day MA, mark my words, they're coming back to it at some point, and it's going to be a glorious short to the downside. Okay. Let's talk PEPE. I'm closed PEPE short. I remain long with PEPE. I've added to my long here. Let's just see. Jeez, this ONDO is cooking here. Okay, so PEPE, you can see I'm still long PEPE here. I'm now $80,000 long on PEPE. I've added to it on the dip. I closed the short that I gave you guys yesterday, and Hackers got that short early. Obviously, the guys in Chart Hackers got that short as I did it yesterday. And now, look, we are in a funny zone now. Okay, this is what could legit play out for PEPE now. We can see we've got our fibs from the lows to the highs. And when we start our first fib bounce, what can easily happen here, guys, is lower high, bang, bang. Okay, that is still super bullish here for us, okay, to play out on the 236. And that is why sometimes I get a little bit edgy with a 236, you know, as the bottom. It doesn't make me happy inside, because sometimes you might get a situation like that. Now remember, these zones are quite reactive, so you do get nice moves out of them. Look at that, a little 3.5%. It could easily run another 7%, and we could get a little bit euphoric, and then it can start rolling over a little bit. So I wouldn't write this one off as it's not coming back down. What I would suggest here, guys, is just be a little bit patient now. Your main support is 84 or 85. Watch that, 85 down to 83. Okay, 85 to 83 is your main PEPE support. If this thing runs, I would say be super careful up here. So look out, you've got a resistance band there at 89. So be careful at 89. What you want to see, you're probably going to get a rejection there. If not, okay, then you're going to get this move that you're going to look for. Okay, so you want to break through this high. You got to pop that high there on PEPE. And then you want to, same story again, you want to come back and you want to buy that retest when they send it back down. We got to test. The bulls really have to come and step in after these little pops in the market. Okay, so we really just want to see that dip lower down. So PEPE, I'm not saying we're done. I think 795 is still a bounce zone for us. I wouldn't write that off just yet, okay? Mark this one on your chart. Set the alarm, guys. 795, that's still a possibility for me. Then higher up, be careful. It's a bit of a war zone there until we start clearing these highs again. And when we're popping these highs, then we're looking at a couple of more fun things. Let's see where we are on the weekly. Remember to understand context of the market and where this thing can go. You want to zoom out as much as possible. Look where the 200-day moving average is on PEPE. Okay, look at this thing up here. 50% still, okay, and that's a really nice level floating around. So there are possibilities. If there is an explosion in the market, there are some big possibilities to the upside, okay? So just do it carefully, okay? Otherwise, you're going to end up like these guys, okay, where you're getting chopped up in the bull market. Don't forget this man. That guy. Okay. Don't be that guy. Okay, Link, we've got PEPE, we've got you covered. Okay, XRP, guys, this was a big one. Okay, there's a bit of news on XRP at the moment, and let's actually pull it out. So while overdue in a bunch of ways, this is an incredibly important and exciting step in the continued growth of XRP. Now, this is the CME group, and they're talking about futures. And James, what is this thing about tokenized stocks on XRP? What is the latest here? There was a tweet floating around.
Yeah, because there was, I forget what news platform that was, Bloomberg or whatever it was, the TV yesterday, that, yeah, they were having a excuse me, an interview about the tokenization of real world assets on the XRP ledger. And that's, the XRP army's been screaming about that forever, that the platform is suitable for it. And ONDO's partnered with XRP over doing that as well. And it's all coming to life here, little by little. The guy did say, listen, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time, but this is going to be one of the major platforms for tokenization of real world assets. So the market quite liked that.
Look, if the market likes XRP, again, guys, look at that red line on my chart. Okay, we've tested this 50-day MA now. There might be another move coming on XRP above this 50-day moving average. There could be a move coming here, and that is also why I've been focusing on it for the last couple of days for you guys as a possible trade. So this was the support zone I put in. I said, yeah, reasonable support zone. Now, remember what you're going to get from me, guys. You're going to get the Degen stuff, because I know some of you guys are absolute Degens. Okay, we all like that. All right, that's nothing wrong with that. But then I'm going to give you the reasonable areas that make a lot more sense to me, the stronger zones that can give you a better bang for buck or better risk reward. And this is why I wrote here on the chart. Okay, reasonable support zone. Okay, this was literally a 236. It was a trend retest and a horizontal here for XRP. And for me, it was, if we dropped into that zone, that's a reasonable area to expect a bounce on XRP. So what do we do now? Okay, we've got our retest, we've got our trend break of a major trend. Okay, this is a 4-hour chart. Look at that trend. It's from the absolute highs on XRP. We've got the trend break. We've now had the retest. If the bulls are going to step in, guys, this is their moment. This is the 50. We got to blow through this thing. And these are my targets. 2.38, looking for that. And 2.59, looking for that. That is where we want to go. That is where I want to send XRP right now. And my stop loss is going to be under these lows. So if we come back here under reasonable support, then we are not reasonable if we're trying to hold it. Okay, so I'm going to start cutting if we start dipping under that zone. It's obviously going to put me under tons of pressure here on XRP. Now, I sweated this thing out. They cut half my position. Then I added some more. It's been a hell of a ride, okay? And now we're finally going to get out of this thing. And hopefully you guys can also see the benefits of, being able to hedge an account, which allows you to ride positions a little bit more, allows you to take a little bit more pain, and also the benefits of maybe starting with smaller size and then adding to your position and giving it a bigger stop loss and bigger breathing room and things like that. And the strategy that I employed here on XRP was a laddering out strategy. So you've heard me talk about laddering into positions, but you can also ladder out of your position, because sometimes what happens is if you're getting under pressure on your position, you can cut a little bit at key areas because we know where our reaction zones are, and I don't want to be cutting the full trade just above a major reaction zone. So with that in mind, I allowed it to play out. I trimmed a little bit of my position into that zone. When I saw it bouncing in that area, I checked the chart. That was the level I gave. I literally do the same thing I want you guys to do. I go back to the chart, I go see where I am, and then I add on that zone. Okay, and that is exactly how I play the game, the exact same way that I show you guys how to look for it on the chart. I play it the same way. Okay, there's the levels. So we're using that as our guide. Okay, and Ben Cowan said we will sweep the lows 70. When did he say this?
I guess he's just said that recently. I saw a few comments on it. I haven't seen that, but apparently he's looking for that 73 sweep everybody was looking for a couple of weeks ago.
Guys, I believe him. Okay, let me show you why I agree with this. And you guys are going to hate me if I say this, but like, I don't disagree. Remember this weekly chart, okay? Look at this weekly. Let's actually get out my regular weekly chart. This is important, okay? Look here. What happens in these situations? Here's my drawing. Now, I haven't looked at this chart in a long time, okay? What happens is we can lose major support. What happens is often you come back, you retest back into the range, and then they come and end you, okay? We've seen this time and time again. Let's actually look. Where's our weekly fib? Let's just look at this thing. Where's our 618? Where's our 786? Let's see what we got here. You see, 96. Okay, there's a massive there's a macro 618 at 96K, guys. That is huge. Okay, so yeah, and that could be the move that sends you down, and that gives us a bearish couple of weeks. Which reminds me, guys, I make money, travel, enjoy says I must close ADA. Is that correct? Is that the final decision here, guys?
Well, there was a lot of calls for ONDO. Actually, that was the #1 call. Was for ONDO.
Let's do this rationally. Let's do this together, and then we're going to talk Nia, guys. Okay, because Nia is also now starting to look boss. Okay, Nia is starting to fucking. Okay, so let's cover ONDO. Why was this interesting to me? So yesterday on the show, okay, we had 2 danger zones. One of them was over here as well, and we saw ONDO rejected off our major danger zone at the top. Then today, I noticed that ONDO had dropped like 9%. It was a proper retrace. It was almost like manipulated. it was almost like, is it really possible that something's going to happen, James? I mean, you know. So if you look at like how 𝗂𝗍 fell over or 𝗏𝗀 or whatever, they hardly moved, okay? ONDO, they rinse you to get entries. They like, fuck, guys, send this down. We're going to get some buys in, and then we're going to pump this thing. And that's what happened. It front ran the big zone. But when I saw it drop in here, that was my opportunity. I said, ONDO's been down 9%. The market's still bullish. We're approaching a big zone, 50-day MA, 618, VWAPs. This is a bounce zone all day long. Okay. And yeah, so added to ONDO over there. Now, what do we do? Let's look at context now. Let's all be rational and say we long ONDO. Where can this thing go on the weekly? And what are the potential targets? Are we being greedy on ONDO if we stay in this thing? Okay, so let's go. We've asked those questions and let's answer them now. Okay, so here we go. This was my weekly chart that I drop in Hackers. So every Monday I drop these big higher time frame charts in Hackers. And you can see at the moment, this is danger zone for any pumps. We are pretty much there in the danger zone. And what are you massaging your shoulders there? What is going on?
Yeah, just a bit of an itch I had to scratch.
Okay, so we actually are in the danger zone, guys. So okay, cool. There's $8,400. It was a trade that lasted how long? 4 days? 5 days? Okay, let's close this thing. Thank you. Let's bank some handbags. Ka-ching. Okay, there we go. Handbags banked. And that is a lesson in being patient, allowing yourself time to build a position, backing a bullish pullback. We said we're going to buy these pullbacks, 382, 618. We're looking for the bounces. Did that, okay? And now you get rewarded for holding on and doing the thing. Okay, so there we go. So that is now banked.
I just sent the screenshot to your wife of that P&L. You're going to have to go handbag shopping later.
Dude, that's a problem. That's going to be a problem. Do not let her, I'm deleting the show. Do not let her watch this show, okay? Okay, guys, let's go 𝗂𝗍. Let's talk 𝗂𝗍. And Maruk says I must close tower. Fuck. Maruk, that thing hit me on stops twice on shorts, okay? I don't know. I'm just feeling more comfortable in the tower long at the moment. Okay. Auto World says, when do we start our lovely short trades? Well, Auto World, firstly, are you in Hackers? That's question number one. And question number two, keep watching the show. We can see these altcoins are moving into danger zones. We're going to start picking up bullish divergences by tomorrow, by the next day. And I think by the end of this weekend, worst case, we are fucking falling over, excuse my language. And we're going to get rinsed. Okay, so that is how I think the market could be playing out. There's going to be divergence sprints coming. All right, so guys, just don't get disillusioned. I mean, don't get illusioned, okay? Now, 𝗂𝗍, guys, this was important to me. This is my biggest long leverage position at the moment. 𝗂𝗍 is now $177,000 long. Okay, this is a big size. Now, the reason I was interested in this thing was because of the 50-day MA and the big weekly zone. Okay, these were the areas on my weekly chart or 3-day chart. And what we want to see is obviously not that. Okay, that is like terrible. What I want to see is this. Okay, for me on 𝗂𝗍, and I'm chasing 3.1 as my possible target. So I want to see a hard break of this area, and then we want to push 3.1. That's going to be a nice TP zone there for me. If we can push it 20%, that'll be lovely. Okay, and how do we get there? Okay, so 𝗂𝗍 was one of our laggers. I brought this to your attention the other day because we had a lot of altcoins breaking through the 50 already. So what you want to do is, okay, I obviously can't watch all of them. Go and find altcoins that are under the 50-day moving average. Then you are still have a chance for an explosive move on some of these. Now, remember, some of them are broken through and the market comes and they pump these things. So look for tokens under the 50. Go do some research, obviously, and, then this is what you're kind of looking for. So here's 𝗂𝗍 breaking through the 50 at the moment. And just like XRP, we really want this move to be real. Okay, so I'm just going to clean up this chart. You can see these danger zones here to the upside. So let's just clean this up. Let's take that away. So now what is the next possible play on 𝗂𝗍? You can see I've got a danger zone coming. Okay, so that is always going to be a danger zone for me. So what I would assume is going to happen here, if there is another push now on the market, we're going to get a rejection here. So head short zone, guys, possible short here for you on 𝗂𝗍. Watch out in that area, 2.72 short zone on 𝗂𝗍. Then your next short zone is going to be 2.95. which is what you're going to be watching there. So those are your big danger zones on 𝗂𝗍 where you get a reversal. Now, what is this, or how could this work out? if we are going to ride up this next move into that zone, we need to have a clean retest of the 50-day moving average. So you can see last time we hit the 50, we rejected quite hard. What I want to see is a clean break and then a nice retest of this 50 at some point. Now, how do we get that? You get it off one of these short zones. Now, you're probably going to get the rejection, and it's going to be quite shit because it's going to be a long ride down on near back to that 50-day MA, and I'm probably going to be sweating bullets watching my profit get melted down another 8%. Okay, but it's one of these games you need to play. If you have a bullish bias, you can say to yourself, well, this is the trade I want to hold for the Hail Mary pass. Okay, and this is potentially the Hail Mary pass for me. So I want to let this try and play out and turn into something. So 2.72, looking for this rejection. And then we're looking for more buys on the 50-day MA. So there's going to be a fresh long for you guys at the 50-day MA. It's going to look like this. Okay, so you're going to look for that retest onto that zone there, bang, and then you're going to try and start sending that to much higher levels. Okay, so that's your long game plan. So now you got to just wait for this thing to come back to you. Then in terms of short zones, we nailed the short zone yesterday. It was just a tiny little move, unfortunately. What did they actually give us? 8%. It's not bad. Okay, 7.8%. You can do the same thing over there. I would expect you're going to get a short at 2.72, 2.75. I expect you're going to get something there, and I expect you're going to get something there. One of these is going to be quite a big short. Okay, one of them is going to be a very nice area. So set your alarms on those zones. Don't be scared to try a short. Okay, those are the areas, 272 and 295. Now remember, we got it yesterday. Okay, look how these zones work, and they should work the same in those other areas. So just back those areas there. And it worked with XRP the last bull run. Is he talking about the 50-day MA? Is he talking about breaking that? Okay, here's Tower. Okay, last one, guys, Tower. What do we do now? This thing is super bullish. Well, you can see we locked into a target here, 200-day moving average. Look at that. That light blue line is the 200-day MA we're watching. And this thing has been been a challenging short, okay? A proper challenge. In fact, this has been a shitty trade. The reason being is I caught the original long, had a banger fucking move, closed it way too early. I can't remember what happened. Oh, we closed the long somewhere there, okay? Then we got the short down there. Oh, then we got the pump, okay? Closed it there, and then it just absolutely ripped. And in between, try to short it there, try to short it there, try to short it there, and just got slapped around, okay? This thing is super bullish at the moment. So, you know, I've kind of hanging up my shorting boots on this tower for now. We got to let it play out a little bit. It's almost like this hyper liquid at the moment, the way this thing is moving. So, okay, here's some big zones for you guys. In terms of long areas, okay, firstly, in terms of big support that you can use for, decent sized bounce trades, guys, 308, nice, and 330, nice. Okay, both of these are nice. 308, 330, very nice as support here on Tao. What is the oscillator telling us? 8 hour, we're going to get spider webs here. We're going to get a reversal print on this 8 hour. You're going to see we're going to get divergence, and we're going to get another reversal print there, and we are getting close. And I think, guys, longs, I think you can go to 428 at least. Okay, that's a zone. And then I think in terms of shorts, that is going to be pretty close to a big short zone with divergences there. Let's take a look here. Look at that. Bang. Okay. Wow. Okay. The 786 and 200-day MA. That's a hot one for me. Mark this level on your chart. James, are you taking notes there, bro? 425. Okay. Yes, exactly. I got rinsed on Tao trying to short it. Okay. 425. Okay. That's the one. And then I've got an absolute banger. I gave you guys this level the other day. One of these zones. Okay. Mark these now. In fact, I'm going to do this now. Okay. High conviction shorts. 428, 500. Okay, 428, 500. James, take this down. We got to short this. Okay, 428, 500. Short zones on Tao for me. Those look very nice. Okay, by then we're going to have so many divergence prints here on the 8 hour. You're not going to believe yourself. It's going to be so exciting. Okay, Captain Kung Fu says the trend is your friend. Yeah, exactly. Especially when you're getting rinsed on shorts, bro. Okay, remember it's the same deal as, you know, when the market's incredibly bearish, falling over like that, trying to get longs at like, in certain zones, and then it like bounces a little bit and then it rinses you again. And the market can do the same brutally in reverse. The problem with being short is that the losses can get exponential if you don't have your stops. Because, for example, if you were short ONDO, and people do this, okay? If you were short ONDO at support, which a lot of people do, okay, I can't find the chart now, and you get exploded up like that without a stop loss, you're in trouble, okay? You're in proper trouble on those things. So if you are shorting, guys, be super careful with those things. Okay, guys, any more updates? We'll go into Chart Hackers. Tomorrow is Friday. Maybe we're going to tee up for a green weekend. It's a very important show on a Friday. I bring in Degen David as well, and he's going to bring you guys some insights and what to look for on the weekend. And something cool going down tomorrow, guys. Good luck out there. Unfortunately, for those that didn't get the zones, if you are taking longs now, a little bit risky, okay? Just be careful. Play it safe. All right, guys. See you later.